Hi there, I'm Dolores Fabiano, Executive Director of the South Niagara Chambers of Commerce. I want to begin by thanking you for your membership. Thank you for supporting other local businesses and for supporting our initiatives that help build a strong foundation for our business community to grow. We can't do it without your commitment. In addition to the networking opportunities offered through our coffee clubs and Niagara Network event, the monthly learning forums, and the ongoing advocacy work that we do, we also offer additional value add programs that we want to make sure you're taking advantage of. Today, we're going to focus on a few of those programs. Our first program is a targeted marketing program exclusive to our chamber members. It can save you thousands of dollars and put those dollars where you're going to get the best return. I'd like to introduce Mike Cressman from the Cressman Agency to tell you more. Mike?
Thanks, Dolores. I'm gonna share my screen here. Yeah, so I appreciate the time this morning. My name is Mike Cressman. I'm from CA4. Uh, we are an advertising marketing agency located here in the Niagara region. We've been around for uh, 10 years now, and I've worked in the local media market for what I like to say is my entire adult working career. So since 2004 or so, I started with a local newspaper and started as a sales rep, worked my way through the ranks, and I was the publisher of the newspaper group here in the Niagara region, the Daily Newspaper Group. Um, Left that world about 10 years ago and started this agency. Our relationship with the chamber goes back just about as far. I've been a chamber board member for a long time and a chamber member for a long time, and really value that relationship. And we're excited to bring a little bit about what we do to you, our new members and existing members, and offer this program to you. So, as an agency, like I mentioned, we work with businesses right across Canada. Um, what we do is really shaped by um, uh, my past in this world. So saw how advertising and marketing was evolving. It used to be, really simple. You bought an ad in the newspaper, you bought maybe some radio, maybe a billboard. It was just really simple. As a business owner, as a manager, whoever within the business was buying the advertising, whoever was responsible for that, it wasn't a terribly tough task. But as things have evolved through the years, and now we're worried about websites and we're worried about social media, and seemingly the advertising vehicles change. On a daily basis, right? We have Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, and Google's forever introducing new products. So our agency, we're really focused on working with businesses and helping them find their way through that world. We provide that support that most businesses don't necessarily have on staff. They either can't justify having somebody full time, um, and for them to try to kind of work their way through this world on their own, it's quite difficult, right? So we come in, we work with the business, we understand what it is that they're doing uh, today, what's working, what's not working, and we go away and we put together a plan, and we work that plan, and we use analytics to understand, how we can make their advertising work better. So our offering specifically for you, our chamber members, is um, giving us access, giving you access to some of our preferred wholesale rates, right? So in this slide, we just talked about a little bit about who we are, right? So we work with all these different businesses. We provide this service for you, the chamber member. um, what we want to offer you is access to these wholesale rates that we have. So my relationships through the years have allowed me to create some partnerships with media providers. And a typical relationship would be that media provider offers a rate, and the agency then marks it up quite substantially, 40, 50%, and they would sell that advertising. Our relationship works quite a bit different with our partners. They get access to the wholesale rates that we have access to. And those rates are typically 20, 30, 40% cheaper than what you would be able to get through a traditional, media company here in the Niagara region. So usually we're able to come in and take a look at what you're spending, and we're able to find those savings. So our program, simply put, is a way for you to take a look at your existing spend and potentially save, up to 30, 40% on what you're already spending on your advertising. So that relationship, that work, I guess the name that we have in the industry has allowed us to, access rates that you're just not able to access on your own. So if we go forward here, so the value for your business, right now, the businesses that we work with, and I'm sure for all of you, you have a choice. You need to kind of live in this world, right? You need to do some advertising, and for the most part now, digital advertising is where I believe it's now almost 90% of Canadian businesses are spending their money on digital advertising, right? So either you're buying your advertising from a local media company, and you're not really buying their product, right? You're buying Google, or you're buying Facebook, you're buying Instagram. So there's those margins. Either that, or you're trying to figure it out on your own, right? So we work with businesses that they're one of those two categories. And so if you're buying it from someone else, as I've mentioned, we're typically able to come in and save you some money. If you're doing it on your own, which is admirable, but not simple. These avenues, Facebook, Instagram, the Meta, YouTube, Google, they do make it so that businesses can take a stab at doing it on their own, but it's not always the most effective, cost efficient way of doing it. So in the second category, we're often able to come in, and offer some expertise, approve efficiencies with the money that they're spending, and in many cases, it's the time savings, right? So, we work with a lot of car dealerships, and the sales manager is also the person responsible for making a lot of these choices, or maybe the owner, or somebody of that ilk, and their time is often better spent, um, you know in other parts of their business. So you know for you, the business owner, you fall into one of those two categories, and either way, we're able to come in and really make a difference in your business. So where do we advertise? We have access to everything. We predominantly are working in the digital space: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, and then all of the different Google platforms. We have video streaming. If you're into radio, Spotify, digital radio, um, just anything and everything. We also work with some of our partners. We're still, in the traditional world. We're helping them buy newspaper. We're helping them buy billboards or traditional radio. So it doesn't just stop with the digital. We're able to kind of help with everything. So yeah, so for you as the chamber member, we're offering access to our wholesale rates. You're going to get, high level agency management at a much cheaper cost than you would expect. We're able to work with anybody in any type of budget, right? So, we have people that spend $500 a year, and we have people that spend $500,000 a year. So, our offering isn't necessarily just for big businesses, or not necessarily just for small businesses. It does work with really a wide range of businesses. We're about as anti-corporate as we get. As we speak to here, that we work on kind of a quarterly basis. There's no long-term contracts. It's up to us to earn your business on a monthly basis. we're not going to lock you into a contract and say, hey, tough luck, you signed the contract, pay us the money. This is much more of a relationship. There's the main points of contact would be myself, my wife Leanne, who many of you would know from, she's worked in the newspaper industry for 20 years in the Niagara region. She's been working with us for like a year. And then a lady named Jamie Chipman, who's a full-on rock star, Queens grad, super lucky to have her. So those would be, the main contacts. It's very much a local agency dealing with local people. And so for you as a business, access to the rates, we're going to save you time. We're going to offer some expertise. You'd be dealing with one of the three of us on a monthly basis. We would provide, reporting on a weekly basis. Actually, you'd get reporting, and on a monthly basis, we'd have a conversation about, hey, this is what's going on with the campaigns. We should make these changes, or go forward. So I've probably taken up a good chunk of my allotted time here, but really what we are, very simply put, if you remember anything from all of that, it's we're an agency located here in the Niagara region. We've worked with all kinds of different size businesses here in the Niagara region for our entire, working careers, very much rooted here. And our job is to provide and fill that niche that most businesses are looking for, right? Advertising, marketing has become more and more difficult, and we're going to be able to come in and fill that void for you. We're going to help you check off, that piece on your list. Make sure that you're getting the right products. Make sure that they're right, that they're working, and that you're not spending any more money than you need to spend, and that you're getting the proper return. So yeah, that's who we are. Love to talk to any of our new chamber partners, any of the existing chamber partners. We're open to having conversations. That's all we want to have, is conversations. And if we're able to help, then great. And if not, we can just move on. So appreciate your time, Dolores. Love these conversations. Chamber is a big part of our world, and glad to be able to have this conversation today.
Great. Thanks, Mike. Fantastic. And I just want to say that we have used the program. We've gotten the special rates. We've got the custom built digital campaign. And I can tell you that when we do have a campaign running, it's very targeted. We see the results almost immediately, and it really does impact our bottom line. So we are living proof that this program works. And it's a free audit. They'll come, they'll take a look. It's no cost. They'll see if there are savings that are available to you. And if you don't have a program at all, they can help guide you with that. So lots of great expertise. And like I said, we've used the program, and it's really worked for us. I don't see any questions for you, Mike. So great job.
Well, Dolores, I either made a ton of sense or I bored them to death. One of the two.
Let's say you made a ton of sense. We'll go with that. So
Okay.
thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mike.
So attracting and retaining a good talent has never been more important. Providing a good benefits program can help. We have a very robust program that's custom built to meet your specific needs and budget. I'd like to introduce Jeremy Garrett and Scott Moore to tell us more. Take it away, guys.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Dolores.
Dolores. How's everybody doing? Good, good.
Just gonna share our screen real quick, and while I do that, I will let Scott introduce us.
My name is Scott Moore. My company's name is Moore Financial. I look after the Chambers of Commerce Group Benefit Plan for the Greater Fort Erie area and the Port Colborne Wainfleet Chamber. So those are my two chambers within the South Niagara network. Jeremy?
Yeah. Before we get going, Dolores, is this showing up nice and clear for you on your end?
It's beautiful. Thanks.
Perfect. Yeah. My name is Jeremy Garrett. I am with Garrett Insurance Agency Limited, and we look after the Welland Pelham and the Niagara Falls Chamber of Commerce. A little bit about ourselves. We were established in 1960, and I am third generation in the business now. My business, I would say, would be very similar in the way Scott's business is set up and run. We're a small boutique style business where we put our clients first and foremost. And when you call in and deal with us, you're either dealing with either, say, Scott or myself, or one or two of our admin staff. So when you do call in, it's always a friendly voice and somebody that you will recognize.
Yeah, Mike alluded to that earlier, local, familiar faces, and I think that we accomplished that. My staff here, Tracy, Andrea, and myself, we really pride ourselves on kind of being the first stop for our clients, instead of calling. We'll talk about the customer service that Chambers Plan offers, and it is exemplary, but having that local office, especially in the big bad world of insurance, where it can be nasty and you can be frustrated very easily, and with a benefit plan, sometimes you need information quickly, and you need a quick fix on something. So yeah, local, familiar, been around for a long time as well. Not 1960. I can't say I've been that long, neither Jeremy. But 2010 is when I started with the Chambers benefit plan. I took over for Dan Kendrick, who some of you may know. All right. Jeremy,
So
you
we'll
want
jump in
to
here
take the
on the
first
history
one?
of the, yeah, definitely. So Chambers Plan was launched in roughly 1971. And the whole reason behind the Chamber Group Plan was businesses, much like your own, were having a hard time gaining access to group insurance plans. Most of these companies, the major carriers, were only interested in large business. And so what happened was the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce launched this plan and allowed businesses, much like your own, access to group insurance. Now they have over 800 chambers across the country, servicing over 33,000 businesses, and roughly 170,000 employees.
Yeah, it is the largest plan of its kind. At first glance, that might sound odd because there's the large Manulifes and Sun Lifes of the world and things like that, Canada Life, but it's the largest plan when it considers pooling. We'll get into that a little bit more later on, but a pooled plan for a small business is very important for cost management year in and year out. This plan is the largest of its kind when it comes to pooling. And it helps stabilize costs. And also another big one is the fact that it's not for profit. So Chambers Plan is run by a not-for-profit board. All surpluses from the plan get reinvested back in, which every year assists in keeping that renewal increase down. It's very cost effective, and it's regulated by the CCIC, that Chambers of Commerce Insurance Corporation.
And just to touch base on a little bit of this too, because the chamber is run very differently than a standard carrier, they're guaranteed renewals. So you're never going to get to the point where like your company is shrunk or we no longer want to insure you because your claims experience has gone up. So it's a guaranteed renewal year in, year out. So we'll touch base a little bit about what the Chamber Plan offers. They're going to offer essentially everything that you can access with any standard carrier. So you've got, let's say, for example, your health and dental coverage. Every carrier is going to offer that. You can tailor your package to meet your group's needs. And there's, with rising costs, as we've all experienced, there's ways to help mitigate costs even further within the chamber, and there's simple things like looking at what your co-insurance percentages are, and then also looking at maybe playing with deductibles when it comes to dental coverage, those sorts of things, which can really help keep those costs contained and allow you to spend those dollars in other places within your business. Disability and critical illness, CI coverage or critical illness is a big one that has, I'm seeing more and more businesses interested in it or specifically asking for it. Fantastic program. And really can be the difference when you have staff working for you who may become ill, allowing them to deal with that illness and not worry about their finances at that time.
Yeah, just a point on that, the critical illness coverage, I call it soft disability coverage because it's not tied to your income. So everyone at the firm can have $30,000 of benefit or $50,000 of benefit. It doesn't depend on your income, whereas long-term disability coverage is tied to your income. So that's a key component that's there as part of the plan. Jeremy's talking about making changes to the co-insurance and things like that. It speaks to how nimble this plan is, because I'm assuming most people on this call are probably the owners of a business that are probably 50 employees or less. And generally, like back in the day, you weren't able to structure a plan how you wanted it. It was very much, here's a plan, take it, because you only have 3 employees. The Chambers plan has all kinds of options at simply 3 employees. It opens up a ton. And you can really doctor it exactly how you want it, to be mindful of cost while still giving excellent coverage to your staff. On the right-hand column, Jeremy, you touched on life insurance, I think, did you? No, and there's also an aspect of life insurance there as coverage. On the right-hand column here, we've got the Employee Assistance Program. That is there to support the employees and their families for counseling services, as well as coaching and things like that. The health and lifestyle spending accounts, I call that a basket of money that sits beside the traditional plan. You can use that how you wish. It may fill in some holes in the coverage, or maybe you've maxed out your massage in June because everybody loves massages. You can use your health spending account to claim there for the remainder of the year. And then we've also got other softer things like the industry leading customer service and value add programs. The Chambers plan operates solely in Canada from a call center perspective. When you call, you're always speaking to someone here in Canada, and I've yet to call in and have more than a minute wait time. So as opposed to other carriers where it can be 10 and 15 minutes. So the customer service is excellent. And then doubling down on that, you've got our offices here in Niagara that are also supporting the plan. And when I say supporting the plan, we're also assisting in, I think I can speak for you too, Jeremy, we're assisting in adding employees, taking employees off, changing the structure of the plan. We're doing all of that as well. We don't necessarily have to, but we find that it makes the plan run smoother. So there's a lot of customer service that kind of insulates the plan, because this can be a very frustrating product if you're not dealing with the right carrier, because you can feel like you're kind of out in no man's land with no support. So Chambers plan prides themselves on that.
Yeah, the other thing too, I'm just going to touch base on real quick is the healthcare and lifestyle spending accounts. Like Scott said, it's this separate pool of money to the side that helps. I guess it dovetails in with your group insurance plan. The nice thing is what we see, or I see specifically, is when I come in, we do a review of a group plan. A lot of the times, because the Chambers run as a not-for-profit, we're able to find savings for these businesses. And when you have an employer who goes, oh, you know what, there's enough money here. Sometimes they will choose to reinvest some of that savings into, say, a healthcare or lifestyle spending account. And it's a really nice added bonus because employees really feel like they're getting something extra and something special, allows them to spend the money in areas that they might need a little bit of extra coverage in. So to speed this along, so Scott and I don't take up all your time today. Part of some of those additional features within the Chamber plan is you have free access to HR, accounting, and legal. And so we'll get into that a little bit further. but it is a fantastic offering. It's like having a back office for a small business. So now you're not worried about having to have an HR company and a few other things that may, one, take up time to help look after, find suppliers, that sort of thing, but also saving you money as well. They have industry leading out of country coverage. It's honestly the best I've ever seen. You have access to unlimited out of country coverage. And not only that, but there are no pre-existing conditions or stability clauses. So it really allows a lot of our business owners and their employees to travel and not have any worries at all, which is huge as you get a little bit older, knowing that if you had a medication change, that you can still go on that trip and not worry about, oh, is my insurance company going to cover me? Because they will. Scott, I'll let you jump in here on the renewal rates.
So the renewal rate really is the essence of the plan. That if you're a business owner and you have a benefit plan in place, you definitely understand what renewal time is all about. And it can be daunting. If you don't have a plan, just quick Cole's notes on that. Every calendar year, the carrier that you're with looks at how much you've claimed. So from January to December, how much did your firm claim? And if you're not pooled, that claim directly influences how much your monthly rate is going to go up at whatever first of the month your renewal is. The Chambers plan pools all of that. So it's not just you and your 3 employees and their families influencing the renewal rate. It's the entire pool across the country, that pool of 170,000 employees that Jeremy talked about at the outset. So really, from a business owner's perspective, how can you manage cost? How can you put a plan in place that's not going to blow up on you in year 2 or year 3 because somebody decided to use it? You know what I mean? It has to be there for you year in and year out. Chambers plan takes that off the table. That fear of renewal, it takes it off the table. And this very simple bar chart here, Chambers plan shows less than 5% annual renewal rate on average. You'll see a slide later that breaks down the last 10 years of renewal rates. And the industry average, believe it or not, is 10%. And that is not inflated to make us look good. That is a legitimate inflation or renewal rate. There it is right there. So these are the last 10 years renewal rates on average across the country. You can see that it is manageable. A lot of times it's almost at just inflation. So it's manageable, it's there for you, it's dependable. You're not going to have to change carriers all the time, which is a huge administrative nightmare. Staff get frustrated, new cards, new all certificate numbers, things like that. It's there for you when you need it, and it's reliable and stable. Jeremy, do you want to add to that at all?
I think the only other thing is because we were talking a little bit about pooled. They also have what's called a partial pooling. And what that allows you to do is the chamber looks at a percentage of your claims experience, and then the rest is then put into this partial pooling. So it allows you as a business owner, if you have one rough year where your claims are a little bit higher than they should be, they're not going to hit you with a massive renewal. They're going to look at it and go, hey, you know what? You're within this window. Things look good. You might only see inflationary factors, whereas with a standard carrier, you're going to be getting hit with, it could be a 30% increase in, say, your health rates because you've spent over a certain percentage. So it is a very stable and fair plan. And you have a very large buffer zone. So it allows you to not worry about, hey, if an employee or an employee's family member needs to use the plan, say for the dentist or prescription drugs, whatever the case may be, you're not worried about, oh, is this going to blow up next year? So we're going to touch base a little bit on the step care. So Chamber plan, they started launching a few different programs prior to COVID. And then once COVID hit, they ramped some of those up. and they were the first to work with Teladoc Health. All the other major carriers have now since followed suit. So as Scott was saying, how the plan is nimble, it is an extremely nimble plan. So a lot of the times the chamber plan is leading the industry and the rest of the industry follows. Teladoc would be a prime example. They launched this prior to COVID hitting and then ramped up in a few other places. But the chamber really wants to make sure that they're looking after your staff, not just as far as like going to see the dentist and picking up prescription drugs. They want to make sure if somebody's having some mental health issues, that there's all sorts of different ways to access help, and in different areas that they might need assistance in. We'll dive into this a little bit further. So I'll take the first one here, Scott. And so Teladoc and telemedicine, this is a huge one. And one of the biggest things, and one of my, I think one of the most important is the over-the-phone access to a licensed physician in Canada. This works all across North America, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, you know, say for example, you've got an employee, young child, it's 9 o'clock at night. They've got, you know, an ear infection, you know, all they need is an antibiotic. This avoids you having to go into, you know, an emergency room or an emergency walk-in clinic. So you're not spending the night dealing with that. You're able to access this. You can request a time and date for an appointment, or you can ask for next available. You deal with a physician either over the phone or via video call, and they can diagnose and even prescribe right over the phone, sending that script to a local pharmacy. Fantastic program. The other reason why I really love this is right now, many people in Canada do not have a family doctor. And if you don't have a family doctor and something comes up and you need care, at least you have this tool to access should you need to see a physician.
Yeah, the business assistance service, Jeremy touched on it briefly earlier. Again, it's for that small business owner that's wearing like 6 hats, marketing, legal, accounting, HR, you know, you're hiring, you're doing all these things. This business assistance service is a built-in component to the plan. It's not something that you pay for extra. And it gives you access to these departments, call it, where they will consult with you and help you with, you know, maybe you're having an issue with how to properly terminate a staff member or something, or building an employee handbook and you need some consultation on that, things like that. That's the HR. And with an HR incident, call it, you have 2 hours per incident, and that's unlimited throughout the year. So you can really lean on this. I've heard some great things. I've used it a couple times. It's just nice to know that sort of sits in the background for you. And really it's not costing you anything, you know, month in, month out. And the Healthy Business Book Market is a part of that as well. It has a lot of those types of templates that you can access and make them your own, from waivers of benefits to, you know, different employment issues and things like that. So it's a great resource, and it's just part of the plan built in.
All right. So Pocket Pills, it's a nice little added perk. It's a digital pharmacy. So if you have, let's say, for example, your group plan, you've gone with an 80% coinsurance on prescription drugs. If your staff are to decide to use Pocket Pills in conjunction with your group plan, it bumps up their coinsurance by 10%. So now your 80% is now 90%, costing that staff member less money and free delivery. So really easy to access. It is a nice added perk. And again, with costs rising for everybody, it takes a little bit more pressure off your staff. I'll take care of this one too for you. This one here, Hugger, is a really interesting app that the Chamber launched during COVID. Obviously, with people dealing with mental health issues and that becoming the forefront, was something that they felt was important, and then have since added to the app and continued with it. So it allows for people to check in, see how they're doing. It tracks behavior, and it's just a nice little tool if somebody is struggling, easy access to it. And again, it's that idea of having multiple ways to access help with mental health.
Here's just a testimonial from one of our clients. I find that, I was saying this to Jeremy earlier, I find that the way the plan supports and is there dependable year in and year out, I find that a lot of people will call me and say, hey, my friend owns a business down the street, and he's so thrilled with the fact that he doesn't have to keep changing carriers and all these different things about the plan. So I find that a lot of the business that comes to me is up by referral, just from clients that like Jeff, that are very supportive of the plan. And I actually noticed right when we started, we got a nice little prop from someone. They put their hand up and thanked us for the stability of the plan. I missed your name, but thank you for that.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like Scott said, for us as well, we get a lot coming in that way, through either word of mouth, and then, we have a lot of long-standing clients that have been with the chamber. The nice thing, and Scott and I were chatting about this before, is, as much as I don't want to say it like a set it and forget it, because obviously we're paying attention to what's going on in the industry and what's happening with our specific clients. But it is kind of one of those programs that you put it in place, and if you set it up correct the first time, you can kind of, it's one of those things that you don't have to revisit in extreme depth every single renewal, right? So it allows you to take your time and focus it where you're going to be making money. And so for that, it's a fantastic program. If you have any questions at all, if you are new to looking at group insurance plan and want to see if is this something that we can afford, or is this something that's going to work for us and our team, reach out by all means. Or if you have an existing plan and have been through that renewal process and going like, hey, you know what, maybe I want to do a comparison and see what it looks like with the chamber versus what we've dealt with over the last number of years, by all means, either reach out to myself or Scott. And so I look after the Welland Pelham Chamber of Commerce along with Niagara Falls. And then Scott, I'll let him finish off.
Fort Erie. Fort Erie, and then Port Colborne and Wainfleet. Yeah, those are my two chambers. So yeah, happy to help out if anyone has any questions right now or later. Like Jeremy said, happy to help out.
That's great. Thank you, guys. Fantastic presentation. We did get a comment from Rima, our good friend Rima, and she said, I can vouch for the lower cost of group benefit. My staff did not experience any changes. I'm very satisfied with Garrett Insurance. Grateful to the chamber for the intro. So that's
Thank
a
you, Rima.
Testimonial. We love it. We love Rima.
Didn't pay her to say that either.
Yeah, no, we did not pay her to say that, but it is definitely worth looking into. Again, if you're a new member, and this is something that you're interested in, give us a call. We'll connect you with Jeremy or Scott, depending on which chamber you're part of. It's worth getting, a quote, having a conversation. There's no, high pressure sales tactic. It either works for you or it doesn't. And that's what I really love about both Scott and Jeremy. They're just honest guys, and they're going to tell you the way it is. So thank you again, guys. Great.
Thank you for the time, Dolores.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So next up, we have a unique program that takes a serious look at your merchant credit card processing fees. This program has saved some of our members tens of thousands of dollars. And again, it's only available to our chamber members. Let me turn things over to Rick Smith from the Fee Advocates for our final presentation of the day.
Okay, so just to let everybody know what we do. A number of years ago, I had a wholesale business that we had some stock to clear. Young fellow came in offering credit card processing. told me he was going to save me a bunch of money, and I told him I was only had the lease for 4 months and what were his cancellation fees. He said nothing, and to make a long story short, nothing turned out to be $4,000. So I got into the business, and just let me see here. There we go. That's better. And since then, have been helping businesses with this very complicated and difficult part of business. That actually this year in Canada, 86% of transactions will be electronic when done face to face, and it's getting more and more difficult and more complicated, more and more expensive. Our clients pay between 1 and 2.5%, depending on how they take their transactions and where they go, and where they take them. I've seen fees as high as 8%. Our mission is basically just help businesses find the right rates and the right infrastructure, including terminals, hardware, et cetera, and how they take them. And it's not just the right terminals. It's safety too, to make sure you're not compromising somebody's information, which is very expensive should it happen. We understand your hesitation, as it says on the screen. Everybody has had calls from people promising savings, generally from 20 to 40%, and they have no idea what you're paying. And a lot of people have had bad experiences like I did. So we don't do any cold calling. We don't have any high pressure sales. We will do an audit based on a statement. With that audit, you get an NDA, so you know your information is secure. And then we'll tell you if we think we can save you money. Probably 75 to 80% of the audits we do, there's enough savings that our clients want us to help them out. There's other people that just have lucked in and they have good rates, or the savings aren't enough to make worthwhile making a change or negotiating. And then you always have the choice of either negotiating or staying with or changing processors to a new one. Some of the services we provide, competitive rates, also what programs, hardware, other options are available. One example recently is a client in the Niagara area that have people that go out for service from home to home, and they were taking all of their transactions over the phone and phoning it in or writing it down and taking it back to the office, which of course is dangerous. We originally estimated savings around 12%. We fixed them up with a system where the salespeople could take transactions, mobile transactions at a reasonable rate without renting expensive terminals, and they're now saving 36%. And it's now secure. They don't have to worry about losing information. Generally, just so general understanding of payments and what the fees the banks charge. There's 3 different categories of fees. Interchange fees are the fees paid to the banks that issue the cards, and I know it's a surprise to everybody, but that's the largest portion of the fees. Generally should be around 66% of total fees. Network fees are Visa, MasterCard. They're the networks that make it possible to send the information back and forth to the banks. These are generally around 15%, or should be around 15%. And then the remainder of the fees are processors' fees, and these vary wildly. If either of the first 2 rates aren't within the ranges we gave 66 and 15. If they're less, then you're probably paying too much in processor fees, and it's pretty easy to figure that out yourself. Just get your total fees. Look on your statement where it says interchange fees, total them up and see what percentage your total fees they are. If they're less than 66%, then you're probably paying too much in processor fees. And those are the only fees generally that are negotiable, although there are some processors that will mark them up. We do not have our clients sign any contracts where they're marked up. If you're paying, this is just saying what I just said. Easiest way to find it: Amex, exclude Amex fees, but calculate your interchange and Visa, MasterCard, and Discover. If it's less than 66%, like I said, you're probably paying too much in processing fees. We've negotiated a fee for the chamber. It's with Elavon through Small Business Assist, which is one of the companies we own. Our clients, or the chamber clients, pay a maximum of cost plus 0.15%. That's 15 cents per $100 in credit card sales. The Interact transactions are all at cost. Interact ranges from a nickel per transaction to 8.5 cents. Interact charges 3.5 cents for tap transactions. We waive the application fee of $25. We pay that. Next business day funding, no cancellation fees at all. You can cancel anytime, it won't cost you anything. There's specialized solutions, mobile payments, online commerce, and you can store your customer information in Converge account. It's stored on the processor's server, and you can do you can set up regular payments. You can automatically send receipts. You can set up 12 monthly payments, whatever you want to do on that. It's a great system, and it's safe. We have the special chamber rates. We have support by us and by Elavon. If Elavon fails to give you the support you need, then we're always around to help out, and you can ask any of our customers. We've done that. And very simply, how it works is just contact us, get a statement to us. We'll send you an NDA. We'll tell you if we can save you money. We can, by looking at your statements, generally we can tell how you're taking payments and and we ask a few questions to see if there's other ways we can help you save money or make your business more efficient. And then we go from there. The cost is based on your savings. If you're working with a salesperson from one of the processors, they're going to make more money if you pay more. We're gonna do better if you do better. So and there's no obligation regardless. As we said, there's special rates, special terminal rates, mobile terminals, and the virtual terminal, and we have special rates for all of that. We can discuss if it applies to a specific business. Customer support, there's 24/7 Elavon support, and if you have a problem locally for Niagara, we keep some terminals on hand. So if something you have one terminal and it goes out and you're without processing, you don't have to wait a day or two to get one sent. Providing we have one on hand at the time, we'll run it out to you as soon as we can. And that's an extra perk from Fee Advocates and Small Business Assist. There's also a enhanced security and fraud protection with tokenization, encryption, a lot of stuff that I'm not really going to get into right now, but they also have breach insurance of up to $20,000 included in that, and there's a monthly fee for that. I think it's $12 a month. So we're gonna make sure you have improved customer experience for your customers when they're paying remotely. If you have remote transactions, we'll make sure that it can be done efficiently. They can take Interac, they can take Amex, Visa, MasterCard, of course, Discover, or Union Pay, whatever. You're not likely to have too many Union Pays remotely, but everything to make your processing more efficient. We have testimonials from a number of local clients. I'm glad to send them to anybody that is interested. Aqua Niagara, Front Row Sports, Harpwoods Trophy and Gifts. Ron was one of our first clients. Buffalo Canoe Club, another chamber member. Fast Tech Inc. and Lincoln Appliance and Service all gave us voluntary testimonials, which I'll be glad to send to anyone. Excuse me. This one St. Catharines company saved 60% of their fees, amounting to $105,000 in 1 year. I already went over the people that were looking, the in-home service company, looking at 10% decrease, and ended up being 36% or $1,500 average per month. There's a chain of 8 hotels in Western Canada that was a mess. They had contracts that they hadn't canceled. We've spent some time, and they had trouble getting their getting integrated with a new POS system. We got them all set up, and now they're saving probably $150,000 a month in fees, or a year in fees. I'm sorry. So, if you're interested, if you're accepting credit and debit card payments, just a simple phone call to us. I didn't put my phone number on there, but it's 905-714-1487. That's 905-714-1487. Call me. You get an audit with no obligation, and at least you'll know whether the people calling telling you they've got a better deal. If once you know exactly how you're sitting, then you know how to answer their questions when they call you. And that's what I have. Do we have any questions or anything, Dolores?
I don't see any questions, but
Okay.
a great presentation. Thank you, Rick. And just for everybody, we have used Rick's services. He keeps us on the straight and narrow, always tells us what we should be doing or shouldn't be doing, and we listen to him. He is an expert. He understands what can be very messy, and he gets to that golden nugget in the center that saves us all a lot of money and, more importantly, headache. So again, for new members, if you are accepting credit card payments, very worthwhile to connect with Rick, get a free audit, and see what he can do to help you with. All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to learn more about your membership. We appreciate your investment, but we want to make sure that you're getting a good return. Please take advantage of everything your membership has to offer. Visit our website at southniagaracc.com. Give us a call or connect with us at any of our in-person events. Thank you for joining us today, and hope to see you soon. Take care.